The first trailer for Avengers Infinity War has already provided Marvel fans a ton of clues about what's to come in the newest superhero smash, featuring the old guard and the newcomers working together to defeat Thanos. But there are some aspects of the teaser that might not be so obvious upon first review. Let's take a look at some of the finer details in Infinity War's first trailer that might hold more significance than you think. The hero hotline. When Tony Stark is shown visiting Doctor Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum, there's an interesting little Easter egg contained in his hands. The same cell phone that Steve Rogers gave him at the tail end of Civil War. Even though the two didn't completely resolve their differences, Steve apologized for withholding the truth about Bucky's assassination of Tony's parents in a note that also read, "I know you are only doing what you believe in, and that's all any of us can do. It's all any of us should. So, no matter what, I promise you, if you need us, if you need me, I'll be there." Cap may be enjoying asylum in Wakanda, but it's clear Tony's going to take him up on that offer in Avengers Infinity War once the threat of Thanos becomes clear. New shield. In the trailer, T'Challa the Black Panther instructs,
"Get this man a shield."
He's talking, of course, about getting Steve Rogers back into superhero action, and the line also serves as a clever callback to the character's comics history. In 1941, the Captain earned the trust of T'Challa's father, T'Chaka, who gave him a piece of Wakandan vibranium, which was then used to help form Cap's circular shield. Decades later, when Rogers gave up the title of Captain America in a dispute with the US government, he was gifted a new vibranium shield by Black Panther. Now a nomad? Steve isn't the only one sporting a new appearance in the trailer. There's also a subtle difference in the way Bucky is outfitted, as the star looks to be missing from his new bionic arm. Since it was lasered off of him by Tony Stark in the same battle that cost Cappy his shield, Bucky too might have decided to shed a piece of his pre-Civil War identity and go forward as a non-Winter Soldier nomad. Has he rid his mind of all that pesky Hydra programming at long last? Sebastian Stan has cast doubt on how well that would work out for him, telling the Daily Beast, "I think Bucky represents some of those people that come back and just don't know how to restart their lives." A new Vision. In the first new glimpse we get of Vision in Infinity War, he looks a lot more human than he used to. His appearance is almost ordinary, save for the bright yellow stone embedded in his forehead. In the comics, a defining feature of Jarvis's post-download existence is that he wants to be as human as possible. So, the fact that he's now been able to shed all the red, at least for a while, means that either someone's fantasizing about what might have been, or he's figured out some way to shapeshift into his desired reality. In either case, he's clearly developed a romantic relationship with the Scarlet Witch, which is also a nod to a central component of his comics' origins. The two had quite a storied relationship throughout the years, often tumultuous, but also resulting in twins named Wiccan and Speed, who both end up on the Young Avengers team during their teenage years. A certain casting call for Avengers 4 seems to indicate that the latter part, at least, will come to fruition. Blondes have more fun? Natasha Romanoff is another of the exiled Avengers who's seen sporting a new look in Infinity War's first glimpse. Rather than the dark auburn do that's been her trademark all these years, she's shown with blonde locks. She's probably still a fugitive at the start of this movie, and the hue of her do may just be a simple effort to disguise herself from the government. However, some suspect it might also harken back to the comic's second Black Widow character, Yelena Belova, who sported similarly blonde locks. If she is just trying on a new identity for size, why not make it her alter ego one plucked from the page as a hat tip to her comic fans? Frozen in time? Although we don't know for sure if Thanos has or will be able to steal the Time Stone from the Sanctum Sanctorum, there's at least one shot in the trailer which hints that time is being messed with in some way. As Tony Stark is shown on the street, removing his glasses in disbelief, the rest of his friends seem to be left in a frozen state behind him. What's more is that those mystical shields seem to be turning very slowly, if at all. Does this mean that Thanos will get his hands on that powerful green gem despite the hero's best efforts? Or is Stark somehow commanding the time gem in this scene? Time will tell. Nick Fury the Storyteller. Although we don't actually see him in the trailer, we do get to hear Nick Fury's voice chime in on the group storytelling project that tells us how the Avengers came to be.
There was an idea.
He's joined by other characters to finish out the narrative, but his inclusion is important because the phrase is an almost exact replica of the speech he gave in the first Avengers movie. Samuel L. Jackson has said he will not appear in Infinity War, Avengers 4, or Black Panther. But could this be a sign that something's changed? If not, at least we know Fury will be there in spirit. Thanks for watching. Click the looper icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.